Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight within corporate filings. Today we're diving into Pelthos Therapeutics Inc. We'll see if their recent announcements are a sign of growth or just more smoke and mirrors. Before we dive in, if you enjoy these straightforward breakdowns of company reports, make sure you are subscribed. And if you want to discuss these findings with fellow investors, join our Discord community linked in the description below. This is a Form 8K filing, which means that Pelthos Therapeutics Incorporated has reported a significant event that could affect their business that investors need to know about, and fast. It is like a news alert from the company itself, filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission. The earliest event reported here happened on the 6th of January 2026. So, what big news broke on that date? Well, it looks like the company made some changes to their director compensation. This isn't usually the most exciting part of a filing, but it often tells us something about how the company views the value of its leadership and what they're willing to pay for it. So, the non-executive chairman's pay is going up by $10,000 to $60,000 annually. That is a pretty nice boost for leading the board without the day-to-day executive duties. For regular board members and committee members, their annual cash retainers are staying the same. This is probably the bigger news before. It seems like directors only got paid the basic retainer for being on the board. Now, they're going to start getting extra payments for serving on specific committees. This is common practice as these committees have a lot of important oversight responsibilities. Let's look at the actual numbers starting the 1st of January 2026. For serving as a member of the board of directors, the annual cash compensation is $40,000. The non-executive chairman, as we mentioned, gets $60,000. Now for the committees, if you are just a member of the audit committee, you'll get an extra $7,000 annually. But if you are the chair of the audit committee, that jumps to $19,000. That's a significant premium for leading that crucial committee which oversees financial reporting and risk management. For the compensation committee, a member gets $5,000, and the chair of the compensation committee gets $15,000. This committee is responsible for setting executive pay, so it makes sense it comes with a good stipend. Rounding out the main committees, a member of the Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee gets $4,000, and the chair of that committee will receive $12,000. This committee handles board nominations and corporate governance practices, so it's clear the company is starting to pay more for specialized leadership roles within the board, aligning compensation with the duties. Now, let's talk about equity. For new non-employee directors joining the board, they might get an initial grant of stock awards under their equity incentive plan. This is a way to attract new talent and align their interests with shareholders from the start. However, and this is important, they do not receive these annual equity grants as regular compensation for their ongoing service as board or committee members. So, while new directors might get a stock award to join, existing directors aren't getting a yearly equity bonus for their work. Next up, we have a little bit about Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. This part is about making sure all investors get the same important information at the same time. On the 12th of January 2026, the company put a presentation up on its website, and this filing includes a copy of it. Presentations like these are often used to highlight positive news or financial results, so it's worth noting when they attach it to an official filing. This section always makes me pause. It is a standard disclaimer that warns you that the company is making statements about the future that might not actually happen. Basically, anything that sounds like a prediction or a future plan is a forward-looking statement. They're telling you to be careful not to take these predictions as gospel truth. They're basically saying that a lot of things can go wrong, and what they currently expect might not be what actually happens. This is standard legal sire language to protect the company from lawsuits if things don't pan out as planned. And here we see the index of exhibits, which lists the documents attached to this filing. The only listed exhibit is the company presentation from January, which we just talked about. This presentation is essentially part of the official record. Now, finally, we have the signatures confirming that the company officials have reviewed and approved the content of this report. The report is signed on the 12th of January 2026, and it's signed by Francis Newittle II, the Chief Financial Officer. So the CFO is putting his name on all of this information. Alright, let's zoom out and look at what this filing really tells us about Pelthos Therapeutics Incorporated. On the surface, the changes to director compensation seem fairly standard for a growing company. They're increasing pay for key leadership roles on committees, which is sensible. It shows they are valuing the specific expertise needed for roles like the audit committee chair, who needs to have a deep understanding of financial health and risks. The fact that they are starting to pay for these committee roles suggests a move towards more structured and perhaps more demanding governance, which can be a good sign. However, the lack of annual equity grants for existing directors is a bit of a head scratcher, while initial grants for new directors are common to incentivize them. Ongoing equity awards are a strong way to tie their long-term interest directly to shareholder value. Their absence here might suggest that they are not heavily reliant on equity to retain their current board members, or perhaps they are keeping a tighter rein on share dilution. The inclusion of the company presentation as an exhibit is also worth noting. While the filing itself is about director compensation, the presentation likely touches on the company's forward-looking strategies, product pipelines, and financial outlook. Given the forward-looking statement's disclaimer, it is crucial for investors to approach that presentation with a healthy dose of skepticism, looking for concrete evidence backing up their optimistic projections rather than just buzzwords. Overall, Pelthos Therapeutics seems to be making some organizational adjustments in how it compensates its board. The intentions behind paying for committee work are good, but we'd really need to see the accompanying company presentation to get a fuller picture of their strategic direction and financial health. Until then, this filing is just a small piece of the puzzle, indicating a board salary structure recalibration. Keep an eye on future filings and their presentations to see if these changes are part of a larger growth strategy or simply an administrative update. Alright, that is our breakdown of Pelthos Therapeutics' latest filing. What is your take on these compensation changes and the company's overall direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.